There's certain times in your life, like I remember for me, there were certain times for me, I got to tell you guys, where I believed that I could accomplish things, but there's times where I couldn't see it. There were times where I would say, man, all the stuff that's going on in my life, how in the world am I going to make it happen? My relationships aren't where I wanted to be. My finances aren't where I wanted to be. Nothing was where I wanted to be, but how do I keep going? The answer is you got to be able to see it before you can see it. There was these two guys, they were sick. Man, both of them went to the hospital. The doctor told one of the guys, he was like, man, you probably not gonna be able to walk again. Matter of fact, you might not even be able to sit up on your own power. And so he's sitting down in the bed and he's just got tears going down his face. He's like, man, I don't even believe that I can do anything else in my life no more. He happened to be sitting next to a guy that was in the room. He was in the hospital. He was sick too. He was sitting next to the window in the room and he was like, man, look out here, man. It's so much for you to live for. So he's laying down in the bed. He's like, man, I can't see that. The doctor just told me, man, I can't even sit up. See, there's people in your life, sometimes they put something on you and you start believing it. They tell you, like, why are you doing this business? I don't see how it's going to become successful. I don't see how you're going to make something happen. And you sit down and you're like, man, I don't see it. So the guy next to the window, he just started telling him what's outside. He's like, man, you got to see these kids, man. The kids are so beautiful. They're playing outside. And over the months after doing this, he started looking forward to this time every day when he would tell him what was going on outside the window. He would tell him, he's like, man, the band, the way they swing around with their instruments and having a good time. And he couldn't hear the band. He couldn't see the band, but he could see it. He said, man, wait a minute, it's looks like a guy and maybe his girlfriend. He's got some flowers and he's getting down on one knee, man. You got to see this. And in the bed, he's like trying to now like sit up so he can see it. So he's looking out, he's like, man, okay, he's down on one knee, and the guy, now he's getting into it. He's like, what'd he say, man? What'd he say? He said, man, she said, yeah. So he's doing this day after day after day. And unfortunately, one night, the guy passes in his sleep. And so, now he's messed up because he's thinking back to all these conversations they've had. That was the thing he looked forward to because he didn't have anything else to look forward to. He couldn't see how he was going to do it himself, and he needed somebody else to see when he couldn't see. See, events like this, we help you see stuff when maybe you can't see it for yourself. We got to help you see what we believe we see this thing can be, because sometimes all of us in our life, we can't see it for ourselves because we got people around us that can't help us see it either. So when the timer was right, you know how the nurses come in, they clean up everything, right? He was like, man, you mind if I sit next to the window? She was like, yeah, we'll go ahead and move you over there. So he gets the strength up. He finally sits up in the bed, and the doctors told him he'd never sit up again. And he looks out the window and he's surprised when he opens the shades and it's nothing but a brick wall. He was like, what? He started pushing the panic button, like, am I dying? Whoa. Because the last couple of months, the guy that was sitting next to the window told him exactly what was going on. He's like, I don't know what's going on. My friend that was sitting here, he was telling me about what was going on outside the window, all the things that were happening. And I look out, there's nothing but a brick wall. She said, I don't even know how he could tell you that. He was blind. And he sat in the bed and it all made sense. He couldn't even see it, but he could see it. You might be sitting in a spot right now where you can't see it, but guess what? Even if you can't see it, if you guys can hear me, just coming back. Let me see. Are you guys able to see me? Just let me know in the chat real quick. Thought I was bugging. Close out my YouTube. Okay, 1 second, guys. Let me fix this real quick. I don't know why YouTube is closing on me. All right, 1 second, fam. 1 second, familia. Sorry about this. I'm at the gym now, so my Wi-Fi is not the best right now. It disconnected me for some reason. So let me get this fixed for us. It's working. Awesome. All right. Little minor technical difficulties, but we're gonna get it right. Give me 1 sec, guys. Let me just get this fixed right here. Here we go. All right. My bad about this, guys. I don't know what happened. I'm going live on Instagram as well, just in case. All right, here we go. We're good, guys. My bad. All right, guys. There we go. There we go. All right, guys. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Happy Tuesday. I am so blessed and so excited to be on this call here with all of you guys. I do apologize a little bit about the technical difficulties. I'm at the gym right now. I come to the gym on Tuesdays because I got to get my cold plunges in and I got to make sure that I get the work in. I do apologize about the lights as well. I know the lights is not the best in here. I don't like that these lights are behind me, but I got to do the best with what I got here. But I'm so excited. I'm so blessed for another amazing call that we're going to have here today. I pray that everybody's having a phenomenal start to their mornings as well, which is something that I'm looking forward to. I've had a really good morning thus far, but I had to come do a cold plunge because, man, that game that I played 2 games yesterday, 2 softball games yesterday, and my body is so sore. And I'm like, man, I got to go get a little quick session. And so that's why I'm at the gym right now. So I appreciate you. Yeah, and I hit some bombs for sure. I'm probably a little sore from all of that as well. But I'm really excited that I get a chance to serve you guys. I'm really excited that, you know, every single person is tapped in. Real quick, if you're doing your morning routine every single morning, put a 1 in the chat box. If you're doing your morning routine every single morning, let me turn that one off. Maybe we could get at least that one off. There we go. That's better. Okay, we got some people doing their morning routines every single morning. Awesome. Shout out to Eunice. Shout out to Danielle, Tia, Kay, Karina, Shay, Natasha, Myra, Junior, Jeech, Mansa, Royalty. We got Jorit. We got This Mama Don't Go. We got Nikki, Aria, Amber, Claudia, Laura, Espinosa. Let's go. It's heavy on the commitment. Yes, Melanie's on the call today. Eli's on the call today. I love to see it. Guys, put this call out there one more time into your group chats, your Telegrams, your Discords. Let everybody know that, you know, we're on the call and we're live and we're ready to go here. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is sharpening your axe. Okay, we're going to be talking about sharpening your axe so that each and every single one of you can get the value when it comes to what is it that your axe is, what are going to be the things that we do in 2025. And this is one of my favorite trainings that I do every single year. Every single year I dedicate myself to do this training at least once or twice because I understand the importance of sharpening your axe. And I'm going to go into a story actually, because there is a story that goes behind the sharpening your axe idea. And it's one of my favorite stories of all time, which is the lumberjack story. Now, real quick, if you ever heard the lumberjack story, put a 2 in the chat box. For some of my team members, you guys have probably already heard this a couple of times, but I know that there's also a lot of people who haven't heard the story. So if you've heard the story, put a 2 in the chat box. If you haven't heard the story, put a 1 in the chat box. I just kind of want to see who's heard the story and who hasn't heard the story. So if you've heard the story, put a 2. If you haven't heard the story, put a 1. Okay, so we got some people who haven't heard the story. Okay, we got a couple, but majority have heard the story. And even if you've heard the story, it's still such a good story to remind yourself of, because even still to this day, after knowing the story and hearing it so many times,
it still brings so much value to me because of the idea behind the story and what it represents and everything that it's about. So let's talk a little bit about the lumberjack story, and then I'm going to jump into the training and teach you guys, okay, exactly how you can sharpen your axe in 2025. Because you got to remember, guys, even though you've heard the story, there's more to it, because every single year you're a different person. Every single year your sacrifices change, your priorities change, and maybe this time that you hear it, it may hit a little bit different than the first time you heard it, right? I remember I heard this story a couple of times before it finally hit for me. I was like, sheesh, man, I really got to get serious about sharpening my axe. So you may be in a period right now in your life where this story is going to hit you, and it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. You're going to be like, wow. And this may be a time in your life where you're like, yo, okay, I need to make sure that I'm prioritizing sharpening my axe each and every single day. So let's talk about it. This is called the lumberjack story, all right? So the story goes like this. There was this guy, he was a lumberjack. And a lumberjack, for those who don't know, is an individual that dedicates his life to cutting trees, right? They're known for the people that cut down trees. Now, this individual has decided that he's going to move from, where he was originally raised to a new city so that he and his family can find a better life. He kind of outgrew the city that he grew up in, and he wanted to move somewhere new, take his family with him. He had done pretty well for himself, and he wanted to move somewhere new. Now, the challenge that came with him moving somewhere new was that he had no job in this new place. So it was a massive sacrifice. But one thing that he did have, which was the skill of being a lumberjack. Now, when he moves to this new city, he goes around looking for, an opportunity, a job opportunity where he can start cutting trees. So he goes to this one place that's, where people cut down trees, where, obviously they hire lumberjacks. And he goes to the guy, he goes to the boss, and he says, hey, I'm new to town and I'm looking for a job as a lumberjack. And the guy, the boss, actually tells him, he says, we're not hiring. He's like, well, I need a job. I just moved here from a new city, and you guys are the closest, lumberjack opportunity that I have close to home. He says, we're not hiring, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. So he was kind of being a little bit of a, he was being rude to him, right? So the guy, the lumberjack, tells him, well, look, I'll tell you what if I challenge you, okay, to put me in front of your most successful lumberjack, and if I can cut down more trees than your more successful lumberjack, you give me a job. And the guy tells him, there's no way that you're gonna cut down more trees than my most successful lumberjack, because you're skinny like a twig, and my most successful lumberjack is strong. Okay, he was like, just give me the opportunity. I'll be here tomorrow at 9 a.m. And if I cut down more trees than your strongest lumberjack, you give me a job. Do we have a deal? And he puts out his hand. And the boss looks at him. He was like, you got balls, but you got a deal. Okay, I want to see this. So next day, guy shows up, and the strong lumberjack is there. So is the boss and everybody there. So they tell him, okay, this is what we're going to do. Okay, strong lumberjack, you go over here to the left. Skinny lumberjack, you're going to go over here to the right. Okay, we're going to start at 10 a.m. Okay, and for an hour, all right, we're going to see who cuts down the most trees. All right, now remember, the skinny lumberjack, the one that moved to the city, is skinny. So everybody's looking at this kid like he's going to lose. He has no chance. This is our most successful lumberjack. He's the big dog here, and so on and so forth. So the day starts off, boom, 10 a.m., and they go for an hour. Long story short, the skinny lumberjack wins the first day. He cuts down more trees than the strong lumberjack. Now, the strong lumberjack, he can't even believe it. He's like, yo, there's no way he cheated. There's no way that he cut down more trees than me. I've been cutting down the most trees in this city for many years. How is it that the skinny lumberjack, cut down more trees than him? Boss, don't give him a job. I can guarantee you that he cheated. So the boss decides to believe this guy and says, no, we're going to do this again tomorrow, because they didn't believe it. They didn't believe that the skinny lumberjack cut down more trees than the strong lumberjack. So they said, nah, we're not going to give you a job because you cheated. The skinny lumberjack says, okay, no problem. He took it with a grain of salt, water under the bridge. We'll be back tomorrow. So come back tomorrow, and they do it again. Okay, same thing. You over here to the left, you over here to the right. You guys have till noon now. Okay. So same thing happens. This guy goes here, this guy goes here. Skinny lumberjack wins again. He wins again. Now he gets his job at the place as a lumberjack. The boss says, "Hey, you won fair and square. Here's your job. You start tomorrow." Now the strong lumberjack goes to the boss and he's like, "Yo, we gotta follow this guy and see what it is that this guy is doing, because what is it that he's doing that I'm not doing? I want to know." So what they end up doing is they end up following the skinny lumberjack home. And as they follow him home, they watch what he does. And, the skinny lumberjack, he gets home, he sits down with his family. All right. He has dinner with his family. He has a beer, he puts the kids to sleep. And then as his family goes to sleep, he goes into the garage and he spends 3 hours every night sharpening his axe every night. You see, that was the difference maker for the skinny lumberjack versus the strong lumberjack. That the skinny lumberjack would stay up 2 or 3 hours every night sharpening his axe, while the strong lumberjack will go home, have dinner, kick his feet up, and have beers and watch TV. While the skinny lumberjack would get home, have dinner with his family, put the kids to bed, have a beer, but spend 3 hours sharpening his axe. Now, what's the moral of the story? Okay, that you must spend time every single day sharpening your axe. It's what you do when nobody is watching. All right. Now, let me ask you guys a question. What do you guys think the axe represents in this specific story? What does the axe represent in this story? Let me know in the chat box. What does the axe represent in this story? Let me know in the chat. Your mind. Yes, it is your mind. It represents the mind. The axe represents the mind. Now, what do the trees represent? Anybody want to let me know what the trees represent? What do the trees represent in the story? What do the trees represent in the story? I'm going to let you guys answer that in the chat box for me. Karina says the obstacles. Samaya says the obstacles. Yes, the obstacles, the challenges, okay, the trials. That's what it represents. So here's the moral of the story. Okay, every single day, you must learn to sharpen your axe. All right, because the problem is with most people is they're not sharpening their axe. People are not spending time sharpening the axe. So what's happening is there's trees in their path. Right now, you have trees on your path. There's obstacles, there's challenges, there's things that you're going through right now that are represented as trees on your path. And the reason why you're stuck and the reason why you feel like you can't get past it is because your mind isn't sharp enough to get past it. You haven't put in the work into your mindset enough, okay, to be able to sharpen your axe. And that's the key right there that all of us are missing. You see, when I first heard this story, it was a game changer for me. Because when I heard this story for the first time, you know what was happening? I had a lot of trees in my path. There was a lot of trees that were blocking me from getting me to where I wanted to go to. I had challenges, I had obstacles, I had trials in different areas. All right. But what you got to understand is that every single day, you got to sharpen your axe. So here's how you're going to sharpen your axe in 2025. Okay, here's how you're going to sharpen your axe in 2025. Okay, number one, okay, you got to spend daily time with yourself sharpening the axe. Something we already talk about every single day, but I got to give you the reminder here on a daily. In the story, the lumberjack, what did he do? He got home from work, and this goes to all my people who also work jobs, okay, because there's no excuses. The lumberjack got home. He would he would have dinner with his family, he would have a beer and put the kids to bed, and then spend 2 to 3 hours every night sharpening his axe. Now, in the story, he's sharpening a physical axe. When we relate it to us, okay, the question is, are you spending 2 to 3 hours a day sharpening your axe? And your axe represents the mind. Are you reading books? Are you listening to the audios? All right. Are you studying? Are you meditating? Are you reading the word? Are you spending time with God? All right. Are you in the gym? The gym helps you sharpen your mind. All right. These are all things that you got to be doing, not just one day a week, not just twice a week, not 3 times a week, every day. Because you see, every day is a challenge. Every day is an obstacle. And if you don't have your mind in the right place, then all that's going to happen is you're going to wake up. There's going to be a tree in your path. And because your mind isn't sharp enough, you're not going to be able to cut through that path, and you're not going to be able to move towards the next day. That's why you see so many people that are stuck in the same place for months and years at a time. You know why? Because their mind isn't sharp enough to get them through those obstacles. They've been stuck at the same problem for days, weeks, and even months at a time. Don't be that person, because I was that person. This year is not the year for you to be stuck. This is the year for your mind to be sharpened, for you to be breaking through all your challenges. Oh, here's a challenge. Here's an obstacle. My mind is sharp. I got it. I got it. I got it. I'm good. You see, right now, I'm not dealing with any challenges in reality. My life is abundant right now. I'm at peace. Everything is working in my favor. Everything I touch is turning to gold. But you know what I'm doing every day? I'm still sharpening my axe, because I know that at some point throughout the year, there's going to be a tree that gets put in my path. And when that tree gets put in my path, you know what I'm going to have? I'm going to have that axe ready to go. And because my axe is going to be so sharp, it's just going to be one quick swing, and I'm gone, and I'm ready to move on to the next one. I'm not going to do what I've done in the past, where I wasn't doing the work on myself, okay? And the trees were put in my path, and then I would be stuck there waiting to cut down this tree because my axe wasn't sharp enough. If you are not where you want to be at right now and you feel like you're stuck, that means your axe is not sharp enough. You haven't been putting in the work on yourself. And it has to be something you do every day, 7 days a week. Your mind is your most powerful weapon, guys. Train it, develop it, work on it. Don't be the person that allows yourself and your problems to be bigger than you. Okay, I have this thing, one of my notes from this weekend from church. It said right here, it said, the promise is bigger than your problems. All right. And you got to remember, you serve a God that is bigger than any problem you have right now. Problems keep us stuck, but faith keeps us going. Sheesh. Don't let that go over your head. I'm going to repeat that one more time. The promise is bigger than our problems. Where we're going, what we promised our families, what we promised our kids, what we promised our parents, what we promised our teams, okay? This is bigger than any of our problems, right? Type promise in the chat box if you promised a family member, if you promised your kids, if you promised your team, if you promised somebody close to you in your inner circle that you're going to make it happen for them. Type promise in the chat box if you made a promise to somebody, whether it was a family member, whether it was your kids, whether it was a team member, whoever it was. I want to know. Let me see who made promises in here, because I made promises. I made promises to my parents. I made promises to my little brother. I made promises to my godchildren. I made promises to my team who's on this call right now. I made promises to Jeech. I made promises to Jojo, to Emmy, to Stephanie, to Samaya, to Aria. I made promises to those people. I told them we was going to run this up. I told them that we were going to be the best team in the world. I told them that we were going to build the biggest digital entrepreneurship movement that the world has ever seen. I made promises to these individuals. Okay. But I got to remember that the promise is bigger than the problems. So when the problems show up, it doesn't matter because my promise to them is bigger than any problems that show up in my life. My promise to my parents is bigger than any problems. My promise to my little brother, my promise to my godchildren is bigger than any of the problems that you are facing. And remember, these things happen for you. The reason why the tree is in your path is because you need to sharpen your axe more. It's not there to destroy you. It's not there to stop you. It's just there to remind you, like, hey, you need to sharpen your axe, buddy. Hey, sis, I need you to sharpen that axe a little bit more. Because if you don't sharpen your axe, you're not going to make it here. The problems are not there to destroy you, guys. The problems are there to make you stronger. Understand that. You need to remember that. Whatever is happening in your life today, they're there to make you stronger so that you can be like, okay, you know what? For example, I told you guys that this month I started reading this book, right? I started reading this book. And the lights are motion sensor, so I should have just stayed clear, but whatever. Right? I started reading this book, Psycho-Cybernetics, and in my private group, we're reading it together, and it's going absolutely amazing. But why did I start reading this book? The reason why is because one of the obstacles, I wouldn't call it a problem, okay? I don't like to call it a problem because problems just, it kind of has like a negative like tone to it, kind of negative energy behind it. But I would like to call it kind of like an obstacle. And one of the obstacles that I was dealing with to start the year and ending 2024 was I needed to change my self-image. I needed to recreate my self-image. Because right now there's been a tree on my path. And this tree's big. This is not your average small tree. This is a big tree that's on my path right now. And the thing is, I haven't been able to get through this tree yet because I haven't developed the self-image in order for me to get there. It's almost like I'm at the end of the path and it's like, okay, Nano, everything you need is on the other side of this tree. Everything you want is on the other side of this tree, but this tree's big. This tree has a big trunk. You've already cut down all these trees in your path along the way. But this one is a big one because I have to recreate my self-image now. I got to recreate my self-image from the 6-figure earner Nano to the 7-figure earner Nano. Okay? I got to recreate my full self-image. So now, guess what I'm doing? I'm sitting in front of this tree every day and I'm reading and I'm studying and I'm visualizing and I'm strengthening my mind. I'm developing myself. It's almost like, you know when you're working so that you can go defeat the big monster in the game. You guys ever play like Mario or one of those games that at the end of each level you have to fight a big monster or a big thing to be able to get to the next level? That's kind of like where I'm at. I'm at one of those levels where I'm about to get to the next level, but I need to fight this big thing, and I just keep trying and I keep losing. For my people who play video games, I know you guys can relate. That's why you changed the hair, huh? Yeah, bro, I had to change the hair. I had to, dog, because I'm like, yo, the curly hair Nano's not gonna be able to defeat this one. I need to go back. So now I'm here and I'm like, okay, and I've tried a couple times. And it's beat me. And I'm like, okay, I gotta lock in now. That's why I'm back to waking up at 6 a.m. I'm like, yo, I got to go back to the 6 a.m. wake ups. I got to get back and I need to get stronger again. I need to get back stronger again. You know, I need to read more. I got to journal more. I got to write my goals down more. I got to do morning routines. I got to do night routines. I got to do so much more now because this next level in my life requires a different level of commitment, discipline, consistency, self-image, all of it. Okay. And that's what it said this weekend. I'm like, yo, this weekend it said, right? The promise is bigger than your problems. Okay. You remember, guys, you serve a God that is bigger than any problem we have. So why you think that the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is serve God? I grab my Bible and I'm reading the Bible. I'm reading the Bible. I'm reading the word because I serve a God that is bigger than any problem I have. The reality is that. So I got to go to God first. Before I used to put God second, third, fourth, fifth, sometimes even last. You want to cut down this tree? You're not going to do it alone, my brother. You want to cut down the tree in your life? You're not going to do it alone. You can't do it without him. Let me tell you that right now. You can't do it without him. And you know what you got to do? You got to put him first. Some of you, the reason why you're stuck is because you're putting God last, not first. So no matter how many times you swing at that tree, no matter how many times you try, you're not going to do it because it's not going to be with your strength that you're going to do it. You're going to need God's strength to help you cut down this tree. But you can't have God's strength if you're not praying to him every day, if you're not practicing gratitude every single day, if you're not reading the word every single day, if you're not doing the requirements each and every single day. So I'm doing what's required on a day-to-day basis. And every day I'm feeling stronger. And every day I'm feeling better. And every day I feel more confident. And every day my muscles are growing. My wisdom is growing. And every day I'm just feeling better and better and better and better. And you know what I'm doing? I'm just leaving it up to God at this point. God, mold me, develop me, strengthen me, give me all the power, all the wisdom, all the knowledge that I need. I'm not in no rush. I'm on your time. I'm not on my time. I'm on your time. So I have patience. I understand that I need to have patience during this time because in order for me to cut down this tree, there's a different level that's required. And all of you are in a different level as well. So keep this in mind. Now, here's another thing that was said. Problems keep us stuck. All right. But faith keeps us going. Problems keep us stuck, but faith keeps us going. I have faith. Like I said, I don't focus on the problem anymore. I have faith now in the Lord. I'm connected with him. I already left it all up to him. I'm trusting him now. It's out of my hands already. You got to have the same faith. You got to have the same faith in this journey. You got to stop thinking that things aren't working out for you. No, everything is working out for you. People may look at me and be like, well, no, it doesn't sound like it's working out for you, bro. I'm like, no, it is. Trust me, it is. Everything is working out in my favor. Everything is working out in my favor. Myra, I agree. Surrendering has me in peace. I've surrendered. I've let it go. One of my brothers, he's a pastor. He said, Nano, if you want to have the biggest year of your life, so you're going to have to surrender this year. When he first told me, I didn't understand, but now I do. Gotta surrender, familia. And it's the key. And here's the thing. The fastest way, write this down. The fastest way to delay your progress is through disobedience. The fastest way to delay your progress is through disobedience. Oh, you don't want to show up in the morning? Fine. Well, let me delay that progress. Oh, you're not going to read today? Fine. Let me delay that progress. Oh, you're not going to go to the gym? Fine. Let me delay that progress. Okay? You're not going to do your morning routine? Let me delay that progress. That's fine. It's up to you, not me. Right? You want to be disobedient? You don't want to read the word? You don't want to write your goals down twice a day? You don't want to read the books? You don't want to listen to the audios? You instead want to smoke weed? You want to be distracted? You want to sleep in? You want to scroll through social media all day, every day? Instead of doing this, fine. We will delay that progress. God has delayed my progress in the past because I was disobedient. I wasn't showing up for myself. I wasn't doing the work. You see, the things that I'm saying to you guys, these things happen to me. Like everything I'm saying to y'all is like, yo, God has I've seen both sides of it. I've seen the sides where God has blessed me and given me everything that I've asked for because I've been obedient. But I've also been on the other side where God delayed my progress because I was being disobedient. I've seen both sides of it. Okay. So I can tell you guys right now that this is real. If you're being delayed, it's because you're being disobedient. You're being disobedient. You're not doing the work. You're not showing up every day. You know, this weekend I did a training for my team out here in Miami. We had an amazing event. And I remember I sat down with them, and one of the things that I said to them is, hey, if I were to check your screen time, I can guarantee you that most people here are spending more time on Instagram on a weekly basis than they spend on themselves. If I were to check your screen time, not your full screen time, just the time that you spend on social media, there's people spending more time on social media on a weekly basis than they spend working on themselves. The truth is that I could tell you guys right now that I spend more times, and I can say this confidently. I couldn't tell you guys that in 2024 because I was actually a little bit disappointed with myself in 2024 when I saw my screen time and I saw that I was spending, 2 hours a day on Instagram, which adds up to 14 hours a week. But then I was slipping up on my morning routine and I was barely putting in 10 hours a week into my morning routine. And I'm like, wait, Nano, you want to get to the next level, but you're spending 14 hours a week on Instagram, but you barely spend 10 hours a week on yourself. But you want to become a 7-figure earner. You want to become a top leader. You want to do this. You want to retire your family. You want to be all these things, but you spend more time on social media scrolling than you do working on you. So what did I do? I made a shift. I said, okay, Nano, this is what we're going to do now. I'm going to wake up early every day. And now from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., I work on Nano. That's 4 hours a day. And the only times I'm on social media now is to post and to be productive. So even if I do spend 2 hours a day on Instagram now, let's say, I spend 4 on me, 2 on Instagram. At the end of the week, 4 times 7 is 28. 2 hours a day on Instagram times 7 is 14. So I'm spending double the time on me that I'm spending on social media. And even when I am on social media, I'm producing productive results because I don't know about you guys, but in my 7 years of entrepreneurship, this is the first time in my 7 years of entrepreneurship that I post 8 days straight. That I've posted 8 days in a row from last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I posted Monday again, and then I'm posting again today. Today I'm going to be posting one of my first Spanish reels. In 7 years, I've never posted 8 days in a row. In 7 years of entrepreneurship. And I'm not just doing it on Instagram. I'm doing it on my TikTok, and I'm doing it on Facebook, and I'm doing it on YouTube Shorts as well. I'm moving different this year. You see, they say, hey, the next level requires a different version of yourself. I'm not just saying it, I'm showing it. I need you to understand that. I'm not just saying it, I'm showing it. Because I can never tell my team and the people that I mentor to do something I'm not doing. I can't tell them, yo, wake up early. Right now, call it what it is. I'm one of the first people to say, grand rising, good morning in the chats. Before, I was one of the 10th, the 15th, the 20th person to say great morning in the chats. Now I'm one of the first 3 people to say good morning. There's overachievers in my chat that are up at 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning. They got me there. But at 6 a.m., I'm probably one of the only people up. I look at the chat and there's like 4 people, 3 people online at that time. Okay. I said, yo, enough is enough. The leader has to do the work. And I do it because I want the people around me to start leading the exact same way. I want you guys to start leading the exact same way, because all of us are leaders. If anything, you guys should be looking to outwork me. You know what? Neno's up at 6. I bet I'm gonna get up at 5:30. I'm gonna get up at 5:15. I want to see 15 people wake up before I do. By the time I'm up at 6 a.m., I want to see 15 good morning text messages, because everybody's up before me. That's the kind of mindset that we got to have. Okay. And that's the key. You got to keep this in mind, guy. The fastest way, all right, to delay your progress is through disobedience. Now, listen to this one. Yo, listen to this one, because this one is crazy. When I heard this one, I was like, sheesh. You don't have problems. You are the problem. You ever heard that one? You don't have problems. You are the problem. Man, when I heard that this Sunday, I was like, sheesh. We always complain, I got this, I got that. This is happening in my life, my business, my relationships, my finances, my credit, my this, whatever. We always point the finger, right? Yo, this, my finances, the taxes, this, the business, the team. I can't prospect, social media, You don't have problems. You are the problem. Some of us need to wake up, fam. We need to sharpen the axe. It goes back to the training. In the story, the strong lumberjack was the problem. He was the problem. It wasn't his axe. He was the problem. Because he wasn't going home and sharpening his axe every day. The skinny lumberjack was going home and sharpening his axe every day. He was the solution. We are our own worst enemies. Making it a priority to wake up and work on yourself daily has to be your main priority. Now, here's another point. It's not about just doing it once, because once is not enough. How many times in the story did the skinny lumberjack go home and do it? What did he just do it every other day? Did he do it once a week? Or did he do it every day? Let me know in the chat box. Was it done every day? Was it done every other day? When did he do it? It was every day. It was every single day that he did it. It was a routine. Work in the morning, get home, have dinner with the family, okay? Put the kids to bed, have a beer. Let's go sharpen this axe. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He had an argument with his wife. He still did it. He had a bad day at work. He still sharpened the axe. The kids got sick. He still sharpened his axe. He didn't feel good. He still sharpened his axe. He was sore from the day before. He still sharpened his axe. He did it every single day, like Danielle said, like clockwork. You have to be on the same type of time, guys. You cannot miss the opportunity to work on you. Every day counts. You got to treat every day like it's the most important day of your life moving forward. Guys, this is the year for you to win. This is the year for you to deserve everything that you ever asked for. This is the year that you're going to get everything that you asked for. This is the year that you quit your job and you start working full time. This is going to be the year where you start making more than $10,000 every single month. This is going to be the year where you start working full time on your dreams. This is going to be the year where you put your kids in a better school, where you start eating healthier. This is going to be the year where you travel more. This is going to be the year where you develop skills that are going to allow you to make money whenever you want. This is going to be that year. This is going to be that year. Okay? But you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to show up every day for yourself. Because here's the thing, though. And you're going to have to do it every day until. Can everybody type until in the chat box for me? You're going to show up every day until. You got to show up every day until. Nano, until what? What do you mean until? Well, here's what I learned this weekend. If you don't learn to wait on God, you're going to die at the door of your destiny. Sheesh. Let me repeat that one more time. If you don't learn how to wait on God, you're going to die at the door of your destiny. You got to learn to wait. You got to learn to wait. You got to learn to wait, fam. And you know what that means? Showing up every day. Because I've always said it. And let me see who my real OG students are. It's not about the waiting season. So what is it about? If it's not about the waiting season, then what is it about? From my OG students, let's see who knows the answer to this. If it's not about the waiting season, then what is it about then? Let me see who knows. We just sit back and sip on this drink I have here. There you go. That's how I know. Jeech is there. Danielle knows, right? Emmy knows. It's about what you do while you wait. So it's not about the waiting season. It's about what you do while you wait. So right now, God is watching. Okay. Right now, we're in a waiting season. He's watching. He's like, okay, is Sophia putting in the work? Is Iman putting in the work? Is Gabe showing up every day? Is Sophia showing up every day? Is Tonya showing up every day? Is Claudia showing up every day? Is Miss Fudge showing up every day? Val Faith showing up every day? I mean, he's paying attention. You know, I was reading in the Bible today in Proverbs. I don't know the exact one off the top of my mind, but in the word today I was reading, and it said that basically he was saying that God sees everything. He's watching everything. Nothing goes unnoticed. That's what I learned today. I don't know exactly what Proverbs it is, but he was saying, yo, God sees everything. You can't hide anything from him. So even when you think that you're being low key and, you know, like, maybe I could get away with this one, you know, I didn't show up today. No, he saw it. He knows who's doing the work. He knows who's slacking off. He knows who deserves it and he knows who doesn't. Remember, you could put the front up on Instagram. You could lie to me. You could lie to anybody. You can't lie up top. You can lie to everybody. You can even lie to yourself. But you can't lie up top because he saw it all, fam. It's what you're doing while you wait. Right now, yeah, it was Proverbs 15:3 because that was what I was reading today. I read 15 and 16 today. Okay. We can actually, let me look it up to give you guys the exact one. Proverbs. Let me see if it's this one, 15:3. Proverbs 15:3. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on all the evil and all the good. That's what it states. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. Wow. They're everywhere. So are you putting in the work? Now, real quick, and I do this because I did this to my team the other day. My question to everybody here is, for the first 14 days of the year, and I want everybody to be truthful on today's call real quick. For the first 14 days of the year, what would you rate your performance, your personal performance, on a scale of 1 to 10? Let me know in the chat. If you were to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? If you were to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on personal performance for the first 14 days of the year, what would you rate yourself truthfully? Truthfully. Don't give yourself one up a little bit to look good in the chat. Truthfully, I rate myself, truthfully, 7.5. Call it, put it a 7. I give myself a 7. Okay. And the reason why I give myself, that 7.5 is because I have had some days where I didn't wake up on time. I have had some days where I didn't read. Okay. I've had some days where I didn't do what I was supposed to do on myself. So I did have some slip ups. So out of the 14 days, I would give myself, I had a solid 10 days that I was on point, like boom, 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 boom. And then I had like 3 or 4 days where I was like wishy-washy, I wasn't all there. And remember, I can understand that because I went from not being as consistent as I wanted to be to now trying to be, not trying to be, but doing my best to be as consistent as possible. So it's almost, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's very hard for you to go from not being as consistent as possible to now being perfectly consistent. It's very difficult. So I give myself a solid, you know what? I'm going to be hard on myself because I know how good I could be. I give myself a solid 7 out of 10 because I have put in a lot of work and I've journaled almost every day. I've read almost every day. I've been, I've done almost everything. I give myself a 7. Truthfully, 7.5 was me giving myself a little bit of grace. But I'm going to be hard on myself. I'm going to give myself a 7. Now I know, okay, Nano, first 14 days, 7 out of 10. Not bad. Great job. Compared to how you were doing in the past, this is a lot better. But now these next 14 days, I got to shoot for the 9, 10 now. Because now I saw where I slipped up. I saw where I slipped up. The weekend, I slipped up a little bit. I always tell my people, hey, don't let your weekend be your weekend. And I almost let my weekend be my weekend. Okay, it's almost like it's a paradigm that you got to break. It's crazy how it actually works. When you understand these things and you see it, you're like, yo, I preach on this stuff. And as easy as it is to say it, it's even harder to do it. Okay, I did let my weekend for a little bit be my weekend. So I'm like, okay, now I know this weekend I can't slip no matter what. I got to make sure. Sunday I was good, but that Saturday I slipped. I shouldn't have slipped Saturday. Like I didn't do anything at all. I slipped and I was like, damn, Nano, you slipped, but it's all right. You good. Can't slip. You can't slip, not once. My mentor always told me, Nano, you can't even afford one slip up. When you on these kind of runs, you can't even afford one slip up. I could take a day off on the business. I could take a day off on trading. I could take a day off on everything else, but I can't take a day off on myself, on Nano. When you're on the road to becoming a better version of you, there is no days off. As a matter of fact, the gym that I'm at right now, here at Legacy Gym, at the top of the ceiling, it says no days off. Because you can't take no days off on yourself. You can't afford one. I can't afford one right now. LOL, still got to give yourself some grace. Now, I do give myself the grace and I get it. All right. But when I was on my best version of me, there was no days off. Every day there was work on me, because it was the recreation of Nano. I don't deserve a day off yet. You'll know when you deserve a day off. And I'm not saying that you can't take a day off. Obviously, there has to be days for recovery. But right now, I'm not in the position to do that. Because what am I going to do when I take a day off? It's true. I agree with you, Thrive with Che. What else am I going to do? Just stay at home, watch Netflix all day? I'd rather read a book and do things that are going to help me on my days off. So we got to keep this in mind, guys. And this is so important. Every day, sharpen that axe. You got to sharpen the axe daily. And last thing I'm going to say is this. Be careful what you complain about. Be careful what you complain about. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful opportunity this year to change everything. Stop complaining about things. Be grateful for everything in your life. Be grateful for your income. Be grateful for where you live. Be grateful for the car you drive. Be grateful for your business. Be grateful for your community. Be grateful that you have Wi-Fi to listen to this call. There's a lot of people right now that can't listen to this call because they don't have Wi-Fi. Be grateful that you have clean drinking water. Be grateful that, you have a house to sleep in. Look how many people in LA. I send my prayers out to all those people that were affected again in the Los Angeles area that, think about those people started the year with positive hopes that this was going to be the best year of their lives. And a couple of days into the new year, their house burns down. You imagine how awful that is? It's one of the worst things that can happen. So my prayers go out to everyone that was affected by those LA fires, because that's tough. And you know what? It was out of their control. It was out of their control. It wasn't like they set it on fire. It was out of their control. With insurance policies and everything canceled. It's tough place to be. And I pray that God covers them with his hands and gives them all the guidance and all the love and everything that they need during these times. Because had it been one of us, I would pray for the same as well. So be careful what you complain about. If you have a roof over your head, you need to be grateful right now, because there's people right now that don't have that roof over their head. There's people who are homeless right now, sleeping in other people's houses and hotels and shelters because their house burns down. Yeah, you may not live in the best place, but be grateful. Yeah, you may not be making the money that you're making, but hey, be grateful. You may not be driving that nice car that you want, but be grateful. You may not be in the business you want to be in, but be grateful. Be grateful during these times. And that's all you really can do. Think about the skinny lumberjack, man. All he did every day was follow a routine. That's all you have to do this year. You want to be successful this year? Follow a routine. What's going to be your routine this year? Every day. What are you going to do every day? That's all we're asking, guys. Every day, sharpen that axe. Sharpen that axe, and don't give up on what you start. If you start something, finish it, fam. Please. This is not the year to start things and finish things. Start the year and not finish things. A lot of us have a habit of starting things and not finishing it. Start something, finish it, and then keep going from there. And that's a story of the lumberjack. And like I said, every time is different because every time we're in different seasons. Okay, right now, last time I did this story, I didn't talk about God as much. I remember last time I did this story, I didn't talk about God as much. But because right now, God is at the center of everything that I do and he's first, guess what? Now we talked a lot more about him. Because nowadays, the war is not physical, the war is spiritual. And if you don't have God by your side fighting these battles with you, you're going to lose every time. You're going to lose every time. I'm telling you, I love all of y'all. I'm telling you guys, and I say that with all respect, so what everybody believes in, make sure you guys have that relationship solid, because these are not battles that we're going to be able to fight alone, especially this year. And I don't say it to scare y'all. I say it to prepare you, because this is the year where we're going to receive our biggest blessings. But it's going to come down to what we talked about a couple of days ago. It's all about those who are going to be diligent during this time. The ones that are going to show up and do the work every day. Who's putting in the work daily? Who's showing up daily? And look, guys, I know that a lot of this stuff you probably have heard, and you've probably have heard it mentioned. But even Nano, somebody that's showing up every day, tells you that I need to hear these messages over and over and over again. Because me talking to you guys about this is as accountability for me. You may be on this call and you may be like, yo, for example, let me scroll up right here a little bit. Look at some of the numbers we got here. Look at the numbers that we got here from when I asked on a scale of 1 to 10. I got 6, 4 out of 5, 5, 6, 6. We got an 8, we got a 9, we got some 8s, we got a 10, 6s, 2s, 8 out of 10, 6s, 8 out of 5, right? for the most part, everybody's doing about average. If you think about it, everybody right now is between 5 and 6, 4 to 6. That's the average number right now, which means we're not doing bad, but we're not doing great. We're like in the middle. All right. We're in that middle numbers. We're in the 4 to 7 numbers for the most part, a lot of us. How about we all commit now to go 8 to 10 for the rest of the month? Because the only way that we're going to really get what we really want is we got to be moving at the highest level. In the book, Psycho-Cybernetics, this is what I'll leave you guys with right here. Okay. I was reading this yesterday with my team. Okay. And we were talking about imagination, right? Let me tell you guys this, right? And he says this. He says, the fundamentalist tells us that man's chief purpose and reason for living is to glorify God. And the humanist tells us that the man's primary purpose is to express himself fully. My question to you is, are you expressing yourself fully? Are you doing everything that you can to become the best version of you, to glorify God? The only way you can glorify God is by becoming the best version of you. The only way you can express yourself fully is by becoming the best version of you, so that you can be the example that you want to see in the rest of the world. You can't glorify God if you're not vibrating at your highest level. So everybody that look, I'll even put myself in that category. Anyone that is right here in that 4 to 7 area or below, we're not glorifying. We're not expressing ourselves at the highest level. I know I'm not expressing myself at the highest level. I can tell you guys that right now. Am I close to it? Yes, I am. Am I better at it? Yes, I am. But am I glorifying at the highest level? No, I'm not. I'm glorifying at a 70 to 80% level right now. And I've made a lot of progress based off of where I was. It's time for us to start glorifying at an 8, 9, 10 level. Imagine all of us, all 100. We have close to 200 people on today's call. Imagine all 200 of us operating at a level 10. Imagine that real quick. Imagine 200 people expressing themselves at a level 10 and glorifying God. Us 200, we could change the world, believe it or not. If one person can change the world, imagine what 200 could do all at the same time. Can you only imagine what we could all do together as a family and as a team and as a community and as a group of people? Do you understand what we could all do together? When we all operate at level 10, this is what I want all of us to do. And I'm leading by example. I show it on my Instagram. The reason why I post on my story is not to be like, oh, Nano's cool, he's doing his morning routine. No, I do it to remind you that, yo, look, Nano's doing the work. Nano's working on him. Nano's doing what's required. Nano's in the word. Nano's doing this. I want you guys, because I don't want to be on these calls telling you guys to do something that I'm not doing. By the end of this month, I'm going to be operating at a level 10. Believe me when I say that. At the end of this month, I will be operating at a level 10. Trust me when I tell you that. Hold me to it. With that being said, guys, we got to go. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If you guys got value from today's call, put a 777 in the chat box. 777 in the chat box. We're going to be operating at the highest level at the end of this month because we're going to express ourselves fully, and we're going to do it for one thing and one thing only. Why are we going to operate at the highest level, guys? Let me know in the chat. What's the sole purpose behind us operating at the highest level? Who knows? Who was paying attention? Why are we going to do it? What's the reason why? What's the reason why? To give all the glory to God, okay? To glorify God, to glorify God, to glorify the greatest, and to express ourselves fully, and so that we can all move in unity towards that specific goal, all right, guys? So I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. Let's get ready for this harvest. I'm going to do a quick prayer so that we can get up out of here, and then we're going to go out there and we're going to have a great day. Father God, we just want to say thank you so much for blessing us with another beautiful day for us to become better versions of ourselves. Every single day, we're going to start sharpening this axe. And I want you to forgive any of us that have not made it a priority to sharpen our axe to start the year. Moving forward, I'm speaking on behalf of everybody that's on this call, the 200 plus people. Moving forward, we will all wake up and sharpen our axe. We're going to put you first. We're going to be the examples that we want to see in the rest of the world. We're going to give you all the glory, all the praise, all the honor, because you go first and because you're leading the way for us and everything that you're doing. We just want you to know that we are thankful from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for it all. And thank you ahead of time for everything that you're going to do for us and all the abundance that's going to flow through us. We love you so much and we appreciate you. Let's go out there and have a productive day. In God's name we pray. Jesus is King. God bless. Amen, fam. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Have a beautiful day. I love all of y'all. I believe in all of you guys. And I know for a fact that every single one of you guys are going to be an amazing version of yourselves. Let the next 14 days of this month be the best 14 days of your life. You guys continue to be great. And I'll see you guys on the next call on Thursday at 10:30 a.m. God bless all of you guys, and let's get it.